Okay, hello and welcome. Chris here, and in this second video on my How to Quit Your Job by Selling Info Products training series, I'm going to show you how my students are currently generating $3,000 per day and how you can copy them and quit your job using this exact system that I'm going to cover in this free training series. Specifically today we're going to look at 3 shortcuts for choosing your niche and also 2 shortcuts for creating your own product and software very quickly and very cheaply. So this is basically the first 2 steps in the system of creating and selling info products, i.e. step 1, choose your niche, and step 2, create your own software. So let's dive right in. Firstly though, a very quick recap on why info marketing is so profitable. Basically, product owners are the people who are currently making the big money. So if you want to make between $100 per day all the way up to $10,000 per day, I think info marketing, creating and selling your own product, and specifically digital products, is going to be the most profitable option for the majority of people. And this isn't just some system that I've just kind of picked out of the air. This is proven for me. I've kind of already shown you my earnings yesterday. I'm going to show you my earnings today as well in just a second. But it's not just about me. A lot of people maybe think that there's something special about me. There really isn't. And in actual fact, I've been able to train up my students and get them to make some pretty good money as well. As you can see here, this is one of my top students, Rich Williams. You can see his first ever launch, his first day on JVZoo, generated over $4,000 in profit. Second day generated over $3,600. Another one of my students here, I don't know how well you can kind of see this, but the earnings here are anywhere from $1,800 per day all the way up to $9,439. And you can see the weekly earnings, and this is ClickBank, this is JVZoo, and the weekly earnings here anywhere from $8,000 up to $39,000 in a single week. So this is proven not only for myself but also for my students as well. So really, no matter how you look at it, selling info products, selling software, ebooks, creating and selling them is a huge opportunity. And I think it's probably the best opportunity for you to quit your job, go full-time as an internet marketer, and basically transform your life. And I say this as someone who has gone through that myself. Within the space of 14 months, info marketing took me from being really an unemployed no-hoper to generating almost $1 million in gross sales in the space of a single week. And as I've just shown you as well, it's not just me that this works for, it works for many of my students as well. A few reasons for that. A few reasons that digital marketing, info marketing is such a great business. Digital products have a huge profit margin. You can charge anywhere from $5 up to $500 or even more for each individual sale. And obviously if you're selling a product at $47, it doesn't take many of those sales for you to quit your job. For some people it might just be 1 sale a day, for others maybe 2 or 3 sales per day. But certainly you don't need to be doing a ton of volume here to generate a very good income. Another cool thing about info marketing is it's very low capital, so you can get started without needing much in the way of cash. A $4 a month hosting package and a domain name is actually sufficient to get started in this business. Now there's massive potential, there's various options you have in terms of choosing niches, in terms of traffic sources. And really when you have your own product, you're in the best position to be able to make any kind of traffic convert, whether it's Facebook ads or it's email marketing or it's SEO or PPC. The sky's the limit in terms of how much traffic you can get and how much you can make from that traffic. Of course, really the main reason that I suggest you focus on having your own product is the potential rewards. It's very easy to generate as much as $100 per day, but I do know people who are generating over $50,000 per day from selling software and ebooks online. And like I say, part of the reason all of this works so well is the profit margins. You can basically generate typically sort of 95% margins on an individual sale. So it doesn't take too many sales of a $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 product in a given day for you to be able to make a full-time living with this. So with all of that being said, let's actually dive in and walk through the system. So today we're going to look at the first 2 steps in the system. Step 1, choosing a niche, and step 2, product selection. So let's dive right in. So, how to become a full-time info marketer in 4 easy steps. Here's the easy 4-step system to profiting with your own product. The first step is to choose a niche topic, and we really want to focus on a proven niche topic, a topic that people are already making money from. Ideally, that there are already 6 figures or 7 or even 8 figures of sales of people selling ebooks and software in that niche. Because if other people are making a full-time living from it, then it stands to reason that we can do the same. The second step is to create or license the products. And in particular, I suggest you focus on software. Software has a higher perceived value. It's actually not that difficult to create, and I'm actually going to show you how you can create or license software for as little as $10 to $100. So I'll run through that with you in this video. But you really want to create a software tool, and using these 2 shortcuts, these 2 tactics that I'm about to show you for both creating and licensing software, me and my students are currently generating a collective $7,000 per day. So you definitely want to stay tuned and watch as I go through step 2, how to create and license software. Step 3, which we'll cover in the next video along with step 4, is creating a sales letter. And again, this is something that we can do very, very easily. A lot of people get worried, they think they can't sell, they kind of get overwhelmed by this stage, but it's actually really easy to do. And the reason for that is because we're going to use a cheat sheet. Okay, so this is proven copy that someone else has created, and we can just kind of fill in the blanks, edit the template, and generate income and create a really, really strong sales letter. And this, by the way, is how I was able to generate $170,000 per day. A lot of people think the sales letter was great, and it was. But in actual fact, we didn't create most of the sales letter. We used other people's templates to build the backbone of the sales letter. And I'll go through that in the next video. And then the final step is getting traffic. And in particular, there are 3 traffic sources I recommend for scaling up and generating the big income with your own info product. I'll go through those in the next video. And by the way, don't worry about any of these steps. I know that this may seem like there's a lot of moving parts here. Maybe you really do want to hit that income, you do want to go full time with this, but you're slightly overwhelmed, you're slightly put off. Don't worry about any of this. I'm going to give you copy and paste shortcuts for all of these that are going to remove any concerns that you have. So with that being said, let's actually dive in and look at the first 2 steps of the system in this training video. Step 1, choosing a proven niche topic, and step 2, creating or licensing a product. So before we start talking about creating a product or getting traffic, the first question, the most fundamental question we have to ask, is what kind of niche can actually kill our job? Because if we choose the right niche, we choose a great niche, it's actually going to be relatively easy for us to make a lot of money. And you can see the money being made here. This may seem really impressive, you know, $3,000 to $4,000 per day, anywhere up to $9,000, $9,500 per day. But part of the reason my students are able to hit these numbers is because they've chosen very carefully the right niche, and in actual fact the right sub-niche, which I'll come on to later on in the video. So step 1, choosing a niche to focus on. Well, a niche is basically a targeted, proven topic or keyword that we can focus on. And really the keyword there is proven. Like I say, we want to focus on a niche that other people are making job-killing income from. So we want there to be a lot of people who are doing this full time, and if they're doing it, then we can probably do it as well. But a niche is basically a group of people who are very interested in our offer. So it could be make money, it could be dieting, it could be World of Warcraft, it could be trading on FIFA, the football game, which I actually saw on ClickBank, and that's actually doing really well, apparently, that particular niche. So there's a whole range of niches we can focus on. And I do want to give you a full kind of set of training videos on this, but really it comes down to 3 very quick shortcuts, so I don't need to spend too much time on this. So shortcut number 1 is to focus on the internet marketing / make money niche, and this really is a great place to start. As I've talked about previously, I make a lot of money in this niche. And for you as a customer, as a Titan customer, there's a few reasons I do recommend you consider focusing on this niche. And firstly, you understand the niche, so you understand the terms, you know what internet marketing is, what affiliate marketing, email marketing, you maybe know what click-through rate, maybe you know a few topics that you focused on previously, whether that's Shopify, whether that's email marketing, whether it's SEO, you have a fairly deep understanding of the niche. It's a profitable niche. It's a very, very profitable niche. There's all kinds of product launches going on all the time. If you look on Pro Club, you'll see there are literally hundreds of launches and literally tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars worth of sales and worth of launches going on pretty much every month. Okay. Another good thing about it is there's many different ways to get traffic. You've got solo ads, you've got affiliates, you've got pay-per-click, you've got SEO, you've got Facebook ads, you've got a whole range of different ways that you can actually get traffic with this. You can also pivot. You'll notice that I started off, my first brand was T-Shirt Titan. So it's kind of an e-commerce Teespring kind of focus thing, at least within JBZoo. But then we also had Video Titan, we have Affiliate Titan, Traffic Titan, Zen Titan, which is focused on Amazon. So there's lots of kind of ways that you can move around and not just focus within one sub niche such as Teespring or e-commerce, but move on to other niches as well. And of course it's evergreen. It's I've been making a living, or making at least a large part of my living from the internet marketing space now for over a decade, and I don't see this niche dropping down in size. In fact, it's only going to get bigger. So the first shortcut is to focus on internet marketing, and maybe there's a certain part of internet marketing that interests you, e-commerce, perhaps Shopify. Perhaps you can even drill down further and focus on a particular part of Shopify and focus on kind of a particular niche segment or sub-niche. But that's really the first shortcut. Consider focusing on the internet marketing and make money niche. The second shortcut is to look at what's selling on JBZoo, Warrior Plus and ClickBank, and that's actually really, really simple to do. If I just go over to JBZoo here, and you can actually see, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, it will show you the top sellers for the last 30 days, and you can see actually Traffic Titan is currently the #1 seller, which is pretty cool because I'm teaching you how to sell products on sites like JBZoo and ClickBank, and I currently have the #1 product on JBZoo. But that's pushing that to one side, you can see that it's Traffic Titan, so this is focused on traffic, so we know that that's a good niche because this is selling. Stockosity, which is focused on, actually I think this is like stock photos and resale rights for stock photos. AdSense, affiliate marketing, I don't know, I think this one may be Facebook ads. Affiliate marketing again, video, you can see video's big. You can basically either scroll through this page here, which is, if you create a free account on JBZoo and then click products, top sellers, or you can go over to affiliates, click on find products and look at products that are currently selling on there. So that's very simply how we focus on JBZoo. So we just spent a few seconds and we can already see that, video, traffic, SEO, Amazon, there's a whole range of niches here that we could consider focusing on. If we go over to ClickBank and just Google ClickBank Marketplace to bring this page up, and we can just randomly click on one of these categories, and it will arrange by default the popularity, which is broadly sales. So you can see the first one's got a gravity of 35, the second one's got a gravity of 49, so we know that these are selling. This is in the singing niche, this is in the piano niche, tattoo removal, photo editing. So we've literally been researching here for maybe a minute or two, and we've already got maybe 5 to 10 niches from JBZoo, and another kind of 5 niches from ClickBank as well that we could consider focusing on. So those are kind of two great places to look. We also have Warrior Plus as well, and both JBZoo and Warrior Plus are focused on the internet marketing and kind of make money niches more. I do suggest that is an option, but if you want to look outside of those niches, do consider focusing on ClickBank as well. The third shortcut is to look at Flipper, which is a really kind of cool resource, I think, for niche research. So you can look at Flipper and see which niches and which websites are doing really well, and potentially look at the sales letters, look at where they're getting the traffic, and consider approaching your particular business in the same way. So the way to do this is to go over to Flipper, where it says Browse Assets. Just click here, just click on Websites, and then it will give you the option to enter a keyword and also to choose monthly profit. I like to enter ClickBank as the keyword, set monthly profit as at least $100 per month, and as you can see, it's just going to throw out a number of websites. Now some of these are affiliate sites, some of them are the actual product owner, but obviously if affiliates are making money, then it stands to reason that the vendors are probably making even more. So this one here is focused on the herpes virus. This is a ClickBank affiliate website. Another one here which is in the Italian niche, I'm not sure what sub niche that is, a dieting site. And if we just scroll down, there's just tons and tons of these that we can potentially go after and target. So this is just a really good search to do. It's going to bring up probably somewhere between 10 and 20 results at any time, and that will change every couple of weeks. So 3 very quick ways there that we can generate niche ideas. We can just focus on the internet marketing niche and find a sub niche you want to focus on. We can look at what's selling on JVZoo Warrior and ClickBank. And then we can also look at Flipper. And between those 3 things, I think in the space of just 3 or 4 minutes, we've probably generated 10 or 20 different ideas. However, if you follow the rules that I'm about to set out for you and the training we're about to go through in the next 3 steps, then really any niche is a good niche, provided that you take one of these shortcuts and provided you do what I'm about to show you in step 2, 3 and 4. I think any niche could potentially be a good niche. So let's get on to that. Step 2, creating the actual product. Now, as I've shown you, I'm currently generating anywhere up to $5,000 per day selling software on ClickBank. And actually, let me just go over to my live JVZoo account. You can see when I recorded the video yesterday, I think the previous day was about $3,200. At the time, I think we're on about $600, and I said that, you know what, we're probably going to hit an even higher number than that. So you can see today we're on $1,300, and yesterday we did indeed beat that 3,200 number. Let me actually just refresh on this, see if it goes up. It might not do. I've only had it open a few minutes, but it's on 1325, 1340. So not a game changer, but equally I guess an extra $15 for just doing nothing is kind of always cool. So you can see these are the kind of earnings that are possible by selling software. And by the way, this has been created with the actual information that I'm about to show you. The actual product creation steps I'm about to show you are the same product creation steps that I've taken to generate this income here, okay? And to have the current JVZoo #1, so this is definitely useful information in terms of product creation. So there are 2 shortcuts that I've used and that my students have used, one of which is how to license software. And so this income here is coming from several software tools I'm selling, one of which I've licensed very, very cheaply, very easily. As you can see, I just sent the guy an email, he sent me a link back, it cost me $150. I clicked on this link here and I purchased the software, rebranded it and sold it, and it's currently generating part of this income here. And so that's shortcut #1, product creation shortcut #1. The second product creation shortcut is one that I've used, my students have used, and one of my top students actually used it to create a brand new software tool in 2 days and for just $80. And you can see again, this is the email thread here. I've read your documents, and to create the file for your software is going to take between 10 and 20 hours. Therefore, the cost is going to be between 40 and 80 hours, and it's going to be ready in 2 days. And that then resulted in over $50,000 in sales, and Richard's first JVZoo launch going in straight in at #1 that month. So you can see that my students are getting JVZoo #1s. I'm getting JVZoo #1s with this right now, literally right now. And this is shortcut product creation shortcut #2. So creating your own product, step 3. Oh, sorry, this should actually say step 2, apologies. So creating your own product, i.e. software or ebook. So now that we've chosen a niche, we now need to create a product to sell. And specifically, we're only interested in digital products. We don't want to focus on e-commerce. We're not looking at creating Teespring t-shirts anymore. We've graduated from that, and we want to create and sell our own digital products, i.e. ebooks, software, WordPress themes, even apps, something that people can actually download. And the reason we want to do that, the reason we want to focus on digital products and info products, is because anywhere from $10 up to $100 per sale, we can very quickly generate job-killing income from this. Now, I know that as soon as I start talking about creating software, creating ebooks, people panic. They think it sounds like a lot of hard work, but there's actually a few different shortcuts and a few different approaches that we can take here. The first shortcut is to outsource ebook creation on Upwork. So for as little as $200, you can get an ebook quickly created on Upwork. Now, if you look at a lot of the top ClickBank offers, I'm not going to spend ages digging it out, but if we go over, I think it would be under, let's see. I'm not entirely, oh, there we go, health and fitness. So this product here, I believe, Lean Belly Breakthrough, and a few of the other products here that are generating, $5,000–$10,000 per day in sales, are basically created using ebooks, and ebooks that actually you can get created on Upwork for as little as $200. Now, I personally like to focus on software at the moment, which is why these other two shortcuts are focused on software. But I've still made money from ebooks. So, for example, this product here, which was my all-time best day, 169k, was just a simple 69-page ebook. So it is possible, as myself and as some of the top ClickBank vendors go, to make money with ebooks. Not going to spend too much time on that really, because it's a simple brief up on Upwork, or you can even approach people on Fiverr for that. But what I want to show you here is basically how you can find and license software outside of JBZoo and then rebrand it for $100–$200, and how you can create your own product for $100–$200 with Excel and an outsourcing trick. So let's focus on this first software shortcut, shortcut number 2, which is finding and licensing software outside of JBZoo and ClickBank, and then rebranding it for $100–$200. Now, there's one particular website and one where you can find these different software tools, and one particular way that you can approach the people, the developers, the programmers who've created these software tools. And by the way, when you approach them, remember that they're already selling their product outside of ClickBank, outside of JBZoo. So you're not encroaching on their territory, you're not taking money out of their pocket, you're basically saying that they can keep on selling their product and generate bonus income for absolutely no work. So let me just dive in on that. In fact, let me just quickly recap on shortcut number 3 actually. So shortcut number 3 allows you to create your own product for between $100 and $500 with Excel and outsourcing. So we're going to create an Excel spreadsheet and then use that as the backbone for our software. Now, this is a very, very clever angle. These types of software tools have made me and my students over $500,000. So this shortcut here has generated over $500,000 for me and my students. And I think it's the easiest way to build completely new software, especially if you're not a techie person. Okay, so let's just go through each of those two shortcuts now. Firstly, how to find and license software and then get it rebranded for very cheap. And secondly, how to create your own product using an Excel kind of tactic that no one else has talked about before. So product creation, secret shortcut number 1, how you can license your own software for between $10 and $250. So here's how the whole thing works. So there are many developers selling software outside of JBZoo and ClickBank. So everyone knows about JBZoo, everyone knows about ClickBank. You probably don't know about this other site that I'm about to talk about, which is called Canyon. And what we can do is we can send a template email, which I'm going to give you, to white label this particular software that they're selling, license and rebrand it, in other words. So that's what we mean by white label it. And then we can turn around and sell the same software on JBZoo and ClickBank. So we can pay them a flat fee, typically of anywhere between $100 and $500, although I've seen it as low as $10, and generally it's under $250. Now, to do this, there's one site in particular I recommend called Code Canyon, okay, which I'm going to go through and run through with you in just a second and walk through this whole process. And so here's how it works. Firstly, we find a keyword that's doing well on JBZoo and ClickBank, a niche, so affiliate, video, traffic, AdSense, that kind of thing. We find one of these keywords that's doing well on JBZoo or ClickBank. We then search for that. We then filter by a few different options. Firstly, we want to find people with good ratings on there. So we're only interested in people who've got at least 4-star ratings. The reason for that is because we don't want to be dealing with customer support. We don't want to be selling a product that's got loads of bugs, customers are complaining, customers aren't happy. That's not going to do us any good whatsoever. So we only want products that have been given at least 4-star rating. Secondly, we only want products that have got low to moderate sales. Now, you can target products with medium sales, but once you start getting into products that have sold thousands of units, as you can imagine, the person who owns it generally isn't going to sell you the software for anything less than $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. I've even seen $100,000 being thrown around to license software which is generating at the moment hundreds of thousands of dollars. So obviously that's probably going to be outside the scope of what most people can afford. And that's why we just focus on people who've got low to moderate sales. Now, by the way, that doesn't mean that the software is bad. As I say, we're focusing on software with good ratings. It just means that it's not being promoted properly. So I've seen softwares that are SEO tools that don't include the word SEO, don't include the word Google, the word keywords, anything like that in the title of the product, and so it's not showing up within the search results over here. Okay. And then the third thing we want to filter by is people who are freelancers. Now, some of these guys, some of the developers selling these tools, aren't available for freelance work. We want people who are available for freelance work, because that kind of shows us that they are willing to sell their time. Might be for $50 an hour or $100 an hour, but because they've already spent all of the time building the software, it's not going to take them too much time just to quickly rebrand it and sell it on for us. So we want people who are available for freelance work. So we do a quick search, and by the way, this is going to take you like 5 or 10 seconds to do. I've spent ages labouring the points, but it's going to take you 2 seconds to drop a keyword in, another 2 seconds to set the correct filter. And then the third thing we want to do is track them down via their website, or we can email them on Code Canyon, of course, and then send them an email saying, hey, we want to rebrand this. Can you potentially do some work with us? And rather than sort of walk you through the process, I'm just going to give you a copy and paste template that you can use underneath this video. Fourth thing that's going to happen is they're going to send you an email back saying, hey, this sounds good, pretty much like this here. Yes, I'm happy to do this. I want to charge you X. There's no restrictions on prices, because I asked about this. There's no restriction on prices or number of units, and then you can order here. You click here, you order, they go ahead and rebrand the software, and then you're good to go. And you can also, by the way, ask them to add features. If you've got some specific features in mind that you'd like them to add to the software, they can quite easily do that. Although, of course, you can just have them rename it and just relaunch it exactly as it is. Now, let me tell you a couple of secrets here as well before I actually show you how this works. The first thing is that this is how many of the top JVZoo offers are sold. So I've just kind of been scanning here through all of these offers, and I'm not going to name any names, but I can see 2 or 3 that have basically followed this exact approach that I'm about to run through with you now. And of course, Traffic Titan 3, there are 10 software tools. One of the 10 software tools was created with this approach as well. Okay, so pretty kind of cool stuff. So let me just show you how this works. We go over to Code Canyon, and actually let me just zoom in on this so you can see it a bit better. And like I say, the first step is to grab a keyword that we know is doing well on JVZoo or ClickBank, a niche, and just drop this in a Code Canyon. So if I go over here, we have traffic, we have stock photos, AdSense, affiliate, funnel, ads, video. So let's just go in and let's just put the keyword affiliate in, and you can see it will actually suggest as we type in, but let's go with affiliate. You can see it's going to bring up 252 plugins. So obviously this is one plugin here. This is the title of the plugin. These are a load of technical things. You can see that Code Canyon is focused on technical people. We have the price, we have the ratings, we have the number of sales. Now this one here, for example, sold 196 sales, which is kind of okay. So it's done what, 196 times 24, so maybe $4,000 in sales. So maybe this guy would be interested in licensing, generating an extra, $200, maybe an extra 5% on his earnings to license it for us. Next one along has done 700 sales, so at $20, this one's done about $14,000. So would they be interested in licensing it for us? Possibly, maybe less so than this guy though. So what we want to do is we want to go over where it says sales, just on the left hand side, and we want to remove people who are high. Now depending on how many results come up, just to keep it manageable, you might want to go with either low or medium. In this case, I'm just going to go with low just because it's going to cut the number down pretty much in half. So you can see we've now got 85 plugins that we can focus on. And then if I go over to rating and select the rating, 4 stars or higher, and click on this one here, it's now going to bring it down to just 3. Now in actual fact, I'd probably go back up here to medium in this case, and in fact let me even just do that just to kind of increase the number, because 3 is too small. We don't want 200 or so, but at the same time we want more than 3. So I've just pushed it back up to medium sales, And you can see we're still getting a fair number: 196, 56, 23, 99. So for example, let's click on this one, AMSlayer, Amazon Affiliate Sites Builder. I think this is potentially one that could work. You know, you can imagine this selling on JBZoo or ClickBank, and Amazon Affiliate Sites Builder. In fact, maybe someone has licensed this software tool. And what we want to do is click on where it says View Portfolio next to the person's name. And if we just scroll down, we want to look for an option. If I just go over to Profile, yeah, so here there's no option that says this person is available for freelance work, and that's specifically what we're after. So I'll just close this one down, and we'll just go over and look at another one. I'm not going to spend too long doing this, but I guess generally about 2/3 of the people here will be available for freelance work. So let's just scroll down here. No, so nothing here either. But I'd say typically you can probably expect somewhere between 30 and 50% of the people to be available for freelance work. So you could just click on the name, just click on the profile name, and then pull that up. And if it says they're available for freelance work and the ratings and the sales settings has been correct, then we can just shoot them a template email, which is the one that I've given you underneath this video. So like I say, this is the exact system on how many of the top JBZoo offers are sold. It's the exact system on how many of the Traffic Titan 3 tools have been created, or how one of the Traffic Titan 3 tools has been created as well. So that was the first shortcut. The second shortcut is how to create software using Excel. Okay, so this is one of my top students, Rich, and you can see that he was able to get a software file done for between $40 and $80 using Excel. So let me show you exactly how this process works. And he then took that and spun it into over $50,000, and his first launch on JBZoo was actually straight in at #1. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So sorry for the typo, this is basically how to create software for under $500. So the easiest software that you can create is really just an Excel database of links. So I've done well over $500,000, or I've done over $300,000 with this. My students have done over $200,000 using this approach. A few examples of what I'm talking about here: InstaDB that Rich did, FlipDB that's in Traffic Titan, TDB, the CB250. If you recognize any of these tools from any of my Titan, Affiliate Titan, Video Titan, of course this is some Traffic Titan, InstaCrusher, all of these are basically just an Excel CSV file, a database of links that have been turned into software. So we have FlipDB, this is just a CSV file that's been turned into a software. InstaDB, again, just a CSV file, an Excel file that's been turned into a software. And I'll walk through exactly what I mean by that as we go through this. So here's the way that we approach this. The first step is we think of a database, of some kind of database, probably of links, that people in your chosen niche would want. So if it's a Bitcoin niche you're looking at focusing on, what would someone interested in Bitcoin be interested in? Would it be a database of different altcoins? Would it be a database of different price movements? If it's the dieting niche, what could it be? Could it be a database of recipes? You know, there's a whole range of different ways you can approach this. But then what we're going to want to do is to spend 20 minutes working out how to create this database. And Google's a great way to do this. We can use Google as a way to build out to build out data. Of course, there are many other approaches. There are other databases, other directories that you can use. Step 3, we want to write a small brief on how we can create an Excel CSV file for this. Now we can do this ourselves, or we can hire someone on a site like onlinejobs.ph for between $10 and $50. So this is onlinejobs.ph. And you can see we just click on post a job, we can sign up, and then we can request a data entry, which is really what this is, and pay them. Typically the wages are between $2 and $4. Okay, so it's very easy to do this once you've created that little brief. to get someone else to do it. And then what we do is we take the CSV file and we post it up on Upwork or a similar freelance site and get it turned into a software for under $500. So I'm going to give you examples of all this in this video. I'm also going to attach briefs for the CSV that I'm about to show you, and also software briefs and everything else. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can do this and exactly how I did this, or rather exactly how Rich did this for one of the tools. So the tool I'm going to demonstrate this with is the InstaDB tool, and essentially this is just a database of Instagram accounts. It's the best Instagram accounts. It's been filtered in a specific way which is useful to Rich and which was useful to his customers, but essentially it is just a database of CSV files. So if I just kind of leave this open and then go over to Excel, or to OpenOffice, which is kind of Excel, then you can see this was the CSV file that actually powers this particular database. So you can see we've got accounts, followers, following, likes, a research link, and the niche. And if I go over here, you'll see we have keywords, which is actually the niche over here. We have the Instagram account, the number of followers, following, a kick email, and most liked post. And by the way, the kick email are just these icons along here. So it's very, very easy for someone to turn this into a software. This is, probably a $200, $300, $400 job for a very kind of low-skilled software developer. Very, very simple to do. And in case you're wondering exactly how we built out this database here, the way to do it was basically just by getting someone in the Philippines from onlinejobs.ph to actually do that. So let me just go over here and show you the original brief that we sent out. So I have a new job for you, please. Basically, I would like to build a database of Instagram accounts for several keywords. And then there's just a whole series of steps that start off with running a Google search, which you can see there. So it's just sites Instagram.com and then the keyword, and then there's just a whole range of other things, but it's basically just a brief that will allow us to create this particular CSV file here, which we can then pass on to a developer and get that developer to build this tool very, very cheaply and very, very quickly. So like I say, I'll provide all of this in the attachments here as the bonuses. But basically this exact approach has resulted in over $300,000 of sales for me and over $200,000 of sales and of profits for my students. So it's basically a case of just quickly creating a CSV database, getting someone on onlinejobs.ph to do it, or doing it yourself, passing it to a developer, and then getting them to turn it into a piece of software which you can then turn around and sell and potentially make thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars with, as I'm showing you here, for example with the FlipDB software, which is built on this exact same methodology. So that pretty much covers it for this video, guys. We've gone through niche selection, we've gone through how to create a product, showing you two very, very cool approaches there that I've made money from, that my students have made money from, and like I say, that other people on JBZoo and ClickBank are making money from right now. So in the next video, we're going to continue with the free training and bring you to the final step, the final two steps on how you can go full-time, quit your job and make a full-time living selling info products. I've done it, my students are doing it right now. There's no reason that you can't do the same with all of this training as long as you take action. So the next two steps we're going to look at, now that we've looked at niche selection, step 1, and step 2, product selection, the next two steps are step 3, how to create a sales letter. And you're going to do this with a copy and paste cheat sheet. I'm basically going to give you my copy and paste templates, which have generated over $1 million for me and will allow you to create an instant sales page and script. So very, very easy. I'm going to run through the process with you. This works for any niche and doesn't require you to be a great writer by any means. As long as you can speak basic English, you're good enough to create a great sales letter using this system. And then we'll move on to the final step, which is a step that I'm probably most excited about, which is how to get traffic using 3 amazing methods for free, cheap, and targeted traffic. And I'm going to give you a free traffic database of people making 6 figures per month right now using this particular system. So this is basically 3 traffic methods for info marketing, and I'm going to give you a specific list of people that are generating between 5 and 6 figures per month selling info products, and I'll just kind of leave it there, but I'm really excited about this one. This is really going to bring the whole thing together. So remember to take action with this. This training, this information, this system of selling info products is the one thing that currently separates the people making $5,000 from everyone else. Okay, so selling info products, doing it using this system, and specifically selling software in the way that I've talked about, is really the one thing that's going to allow you to quit your job and go full time with this. And remember, this is your best chance to quit your job this year. So I don't know if you've tried stuff in the past, you've maybe been marketing online before, you've maybe flitted from one kind of opportunity to the other. This is the best opportunity that you have in 2018 to do this. So watch out for my next free training video. It's dropping in exactly 24 hours time. That pretty much covers it, guys. Really excited for the next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Cheers.